Hello guys, F.A.D. here and welcome to another album review. Yes, it's been so long since I've last done one of these, and one of the reasons was of course school, but that was basically the main reason why I have been so inactive on my channel lately. But another reason why I haven't really done album reviews recently specifically, recently of course I did start a GTA 3 series and stuff like that, and I also did a few videos on my CD collection, some updates on that and stuff. But one of the reasons why I didn't really do any album reviews is that my main editing software, well, I don't know if that's even what you can call it, basically the YouTube editor, which is like which used to be the built-in editor that you could use to edit videos on YouTube, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore, and that was my main way of editing videos. And now that it's gone, I have no idea how to edit videos. So this is gonna be an unedited video, so you won't be seeing any fancy cuts, you know, from like point to point, and you won't be seeing a nice fancy outro at the end with the album score, or you know, with like one of the tunes playing in the background. No, none of that, unfortunately. So I mean, if you guys happen to know any simple free editing software thingies, whatever, that I could use, then please tell me. I mean, something which is simple and of course for free, kind of like the YouTube editor itself, how it used to be. And please tell me, because I mean, of course, I mean, now that I don't have any way to edit, it's just kind of like, I mean, I have to like do everything in one take, which is pretty stressful, because if I kind of start messing up, it's like, god damn it. But as you can see, I finally got a haircut, you know, back to the mohawk again. Yeah, looking fresh. I got a cut today, but whatever, that's not what the video is about. The video is about an album. So without any more further ado, let's get into the actual review. So last year, of course, when I first started to review albums, I reviewed the entire Nickelback discography. And now that I'm done with that, well, why not start off 2018 by reviewing the debut album from the band, which often is referred to as Nickelback Light. Yeah, I'm talking about Theory of a Deadman. And we're going to be talking about their debut self-titled album from 2002? Yeah, 2002. No, I can't edit, so if I do anything wrong, I'm screwed. So that's why I need to know everything 100%. So their debut album from 2002, the same year that I was born, actually. But yeah, one of the reasons why Theory of a Deadman is often referred to as Nickelback Light, of course, is because Chad Kroeger from Nickelback actually did help the band a lot when they were starting off. I mean, Nickelback is basically Theory's main influence, especially in their earlier days. Like, you can clearly tell. I mean, Chad Kroeger, he signed the band to his label 604 Records back in the day, and he helped with the writing process, he helped produce it, stuff like that. So he definitely did do a lot, and you can clearly tell that it's pretty resembling of Nickelback, especially like Nickelback's like earlier work from the early 2000s, like Silver Side Up and The Long Road. Like, you can clearly see the influences, you know, here and there. Like, it really sounds like those albums. It has that similar feel to it. On this record, like, you can even tell it in the vocals from Tyler on this record. Like, they have that similar voice. He uses a pretty similar technique to the one of that Chad Kroeger from Nickelback used to use, like on those albums like Silver Side Up. Like there's how, like the you know, that, if you know what I mean. Like, if you hear the album and compare it to some of Theory's later work, you can definitely tell. Like, Tyler definitely did change his vocal style after this album, because here it's very similar to like Nickelback and that kind of stuff. I mean, he has a much deeper voice and stuff. Now, I don't know why he changed it after this album. I mean, maybe he just wanted to sound different from Nickelback, or maybe I don't know, maybe his voice just changed, or he just didn't like singing like that. I don't know. Like, I tried looking it up many times, but I never really could find any info on it. Maybe you guys know something, I don't know. Like, personally, for me, I think he just didn't really want to be, you know, a 100% Nickelback wannabe band, so he kind of tried to change his vocals. But I mean, even later down the road, Theory of Deadman still got compared to Nickelback a lot. I mean, they definitely are a similar band, and they also tend to get hated. I mean, they're also Canadian. Maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, and of course, because so I don't really mess up during the recording, I do have some notes here about the album. So yeah, this is their debut from 2002. Like I said, very similar to some of Nickelback's albums from this same time period, like The Long Road and Silver Side Up. Now, of course, for people who hate Nickelback, that is not really a good thing. But well, I like Nickelback, you know, especially those like their stuff from the early 2000s. And man, I've said that the word early 2000s so many times already. God. I'm repeating myself, but I really like those albums, so of course I also like this record. I mean, honestly, Fury of a Deadman, they're not one of my all-time favorite bands, but I do like them. I actually own, like, almost all of their albums, apart from their new one, because it sucks, honestly. What the hell is that piece of shit? Like, honestly, I really do not like Fury's new album. Like, they completely changed their style, and it's just, I don't like it. But all their other stuff, man, I actually was a pretty big fan of it. Like, honestly, like, they get a lot of hate, but just like with Nickelback, I mean, I have a reputation for liking stuff that others like consider trash, but you know, so this is definitely, I guess, one of those cases. I mean, I really do like Fury. Yeah. So yeah, now about the album itself. So self-titled album. I think we can get to the freaking songs now, yeah? So, before I start, definitely one of my biggest complaints about it is that it's a pretty damn short album. Now, some of you might know I'm not a really big fan of short albums. Like, this one, like, clocks in at around 36 minutes, which is, I mean, it's so short. Like, I mean, I like it when an album is just, like, at least, like, around, no, at least, like, 40 minutes long. Like, that's when I think, okay, now that's a good length, album length. But, I mean, this is like 36, 37 minutes. It's like, I know it's like only a couple of minutes difference, but it's like, couldn't they have like made like one extra song? Like, it just kind of annoys me because, you know, you listen to the album and then it feels like in no time it's over. I mean, yeah. They kind of, this is their only album which is this short, so I guess they did kind of address it. I mean, their later albums would all be like around 46 minutes. But yeah, I mean, it only has 10 tracks, so I guess that's one of the reasons why it is kind of short. I mean, 10 tracks. So yeah, I'm just gonna dissect it one by one, every song, and say what I think of it. So let's get started with the opening song, Invisible Man. Now, it's a pretty damn energetic, you know, way to open the album. Very good. It is a very short song. It's under 3 minutes, again. But yeah, probably one of my main you know, complaints about it would probably the lyrics. I mean, they're pretty weird. I mean, the lyrics are literally about an invisible man. I mean, he's talking about how you can't see him and stuff like that. And it's just weird, like literally an invisible man. I mean, this song originally appeared on the Spider-Man soundtrack, like, of course, along with like songs like Hero and Bother by Stone Sour. So maybe that has something to do with it, you know, it being originally on the Spider-Man soundtrack. But I don't know, it's a weird song, but overall I like it. I mean, like I said, it's energetic and it's a good way to start the record. Moving on, right after that we have the second song, which was one of the singles, Nothing Could Come Between Us, and this is definitely one of my favorites from this album, if not from the entire discography from Fury of a Deadman. This was one of the first, this actually might have been the very first Fury of a Deadman song I properly listened to, and I really like it. I mean, I really love the chorus, it's catchy, it's actually, you know, despite the title being Nothing Could Come Between Us, it's actually more of an anti-love song, because basically what Tyler says in the lyrics is that the girl who he's singing about, you know, she thought that nothing could come between them, but you know, he just never felt the same. That's what basically the entire song is about. How, you know, no, nothing could come between us. That's one of the things she always used to say, but I just don't feel the same. And stuff like that, and I really do like that. I mean, I like the song. It's atmospheric, you know. It starts off, you know, very nicely. I mean, this is definitely one of the songs which really shows off, you know, like those Chad Kroeger like influences on Tyler's vocals. Like, honestly, it also like kind of sounds a bit like a country song. Like, it's sort of like running back and forth from here to South Carolina, and it's like God, okay, Tyler. But yeah, overall, one of my favorite songs from the album. You know, definitely I like it. You know, very good choice of as a single. But moving on, then we have song number 3, another single, Make Up Your Mind. It's a very catchy ballad. I really liked it. It's kind of generic, but I don't really mind. It's still good. It doesn't take many risks. It just kind of stays on the same track throughout the entire song, which is not a bad thing. I mean, near the end there's a nice little solo, and overall it's just a good song. I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. I mean, again, just a nice, simple but good ballad. Yeah. Moving on to track 4, we got Point to Prove, which is a bit forgettable. I mean, it's got a nice, catchy chorus, which it just gets repeated a little bit too much for my liking. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it is kind of forgettable. I still like it. I mean, it's still definitely a pretty good track, but you know, just like I said, forgettable. But all in all, it is definitely still a good track. I mean, I do like all of the songs on this album. I do like the album as a whole. It's just a nice, good, balanced record. It doesn't really have any like super low spots and stuff like that. But yeah, Point to Prove, that was that. So now, but moving on to track 5. Leg to Stand On is actually one of my favorite songs from the album. I really do like it. I think it has a great chorus. I mean, it's just very how do you say it? It has a lot of energy, you could say, honestly. It kind of goes crazy. I mean, is it just my medication or is it wearing away? Like, I really like the lyrics. It's very well written. Definitely one of the most well written songs on the album. And also Tyler just one of his best vocal performances on the record as well. Overall, definitely one of my favorites from this album. Moving on to track 6, we got What You Deserve, which is another good track. I mean, it has a very good riff. It's catchy. It's definitely one of the less memorable songs on the record, but I still like it. I mean, What You Deserve, I think the title really speaks for itself. It's a song about, a sad person, getting what they deserve, kind of, an angry song like that, a little bit. And like I said, even though it is one of the less memorable tracks, I still do dig it. And after that, track 7, we actually got definitely one of the most memorable songs off of the record, The Last Song. Now, this is a ballad, which actually is about, it's about a suicidal person, basically, who's, I assume about to commit suicide, and he's basically, going through all the things that he's going to miss in life, basically. And it's pretty. I mean, in that way, it kind of hits you hard. I mean, the song actually originally was titled "Theory of a Deadman," which I guess the band just really liked that title so much that they made it their band name. But yeah, originally it was called "Theory of a Deadman," and God, I mean, it really, it's a great ballad, with a lot of, you can feel the emotion, you can feel the pain behind Tyler's vocals, and, it's pretty sad, actually. Definitely one of the more hard-hitting songs on the album. Definitely in my opinion, one of the most underrated songs by Theory of a Deadman. I mean, usually when you talk about the band, I mean, you just refer to, like, some of the more well-known songs, like Bad Girlfriend, Low Life, stuff like that, but then you don't really talk about a song like the Last Song. Like, it's definitely one of my favorite Theory of a Deadman tracks of all time. I really do dig it. It's man, just really hits you hard, man. But yeah, after that, though, we have, if I can just find the notes. Goddamn, where is it? There we go. Track 8, Say I'm Sorry, which is another ballad. And it's another good one. It's a very good one. It is another song about a bad relationship / breakup. Of course, that is basically the main topic for Fury of a Deadman. At least it was until their Savages album in 2014. Like, people used to actually make fun of Fury of a Deadman because basically all of their songs were about a girl, a breakup, a relationship. They very rarely, moved away from that topic. Then they kind of switched it up in the Savages album. But yeah, again, another kind of song like that. I mean, it has such a good chorus, honestly. What I wrote down here, just, it's a good ballad. Honestly, I didn't even write anything down about it. Wow. I mean, it just has a great chorus. I mean, it's just full of emotion. Again, you can just feel the pain behind Tyler's vocals. I mean, it really feels genuine. That's what I'm trying to say here. And yeah, definitely one of the highlights on the album for me, honestly. Definitely, this is one of the tracks I tend to come back to. I mean, the chorus is just so good. I really love it. But yeah, now moving on to the final 2 tracks on the album, we got number 9. Probably my least favorite song on the album. Not saying it's bad, because like I said before, I do like the entire album, but this is probably my least favorite. It's called Any Other Way. It's a pretty generic, you know, rock song. I mean, it's nothing really too special. Tyler tries to sound a bit angrier than usual, but it kind of comes off a bit forced, which doesn't really do any good. But like I said, I mean, not saying I hate it, but no, looking at the entire album, this is definitely my least favorite tracks. Any Other Way, it's basically talking about a person and how they don't want to change, you know, they're like, you know, they'll stay the same and they won't have it any other way, and, you know, stuff like that. It's just nothing special, basically, but, I mean, I still like it, it's okay, but, like I said, like, I could, like, freaking, like, 5 times already, just my least favorite song on the album. But contrary to that, moving on to the final song, track 10, Confession. That's again one of my favorites, honestly. It's such a good way to finish off the album. I love the chorus on it. Again, the song is about an ex, but the chorus is so good, and unlike in the previous song, when Tyler actually, you know, tries to sound a bit pissed off here, it actually works a lot better. And I just love, you know, the chorus is just so good, you know, life after death is life after you. I really like that lyric. It's one of my favorites on the album, and it's so well written, and it's just, like I said, an amazing way to end the album, you know, on a good note, and definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, so those were all the tracks on the record. Like I said, a pretty short album, only 10 tracks, about 36 minutes. That's probably the biggest flaw. I don't know. Maybe they thought it was good like it. Maybe they didn't want to add any songs to ruin the vibe or anything. Because this album definitely has like an atmosphere, like one vibe to it. And yeah, it's definitely a lot different from anything else which Fury would ever go on to do. I mean, their next album, Gasoline, you know, it kind of really did change you know, their style a lot. I mean, like I said, Tyler kind of changed his vocal style, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of their heavier albums as well. I mean, I think the band, you know, when they were making the Savages album, they even said how it was probably their heaviest album since their debut. Now, I still do think that the debut is probably heavier. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, Savages does have some heavy moments on it. I don't know. If I ever, whenever I get to that album, then we'll see. But yeah, this is one of their heaviest albums, and I don't know, it's probably definitely one of my favorite albums from the band. I mean, this was, I think, the second album I ever bought. I mean, like I said, Nothing Could Come Between Us was the first song I ever heard from Fury, but I think the first album I bought from them was Scars and Souvenirs, then after that I bought this one. And, I mean, I just really like it. I mean, again, you can clearly tell the Nickelback influence is huge on here. Of course, you know, with Chad Kroeger, you know, writing, you know, helping you know, with the writing and the production and stuff. It's bound to happen. I mean, come on. You can clearly tell that Chad Kroeger had a lot to do with the making of this, and maybe that's one of the reasons why all of the Fury's following albums were kind of different, because, you know, they did it without Chad. But overall, very good album. If I would have to give it a score, it would probably be maybe like a 7.5. Probably not on 8. Probably just not making that 8, but definitely at least a nice 7.5, maybe a nice 7.75. I don't know, something like that along those lines. It's a very good album. I recommend it especially if you like Nickelback and like Silver Side Up, The Long Road. Some people could call it a generic post-grunge album, but well, I like post-grunge, and this is definitely one of my favorite albums from that time period. I really do like it. And yeah, that's it for the review. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think of the album, and what you guys think of Fury of a Deadman as a whole, of the band. Like, I'm really interested in your opinions, if you guys have any. Maybe you guys don't even really know the band too well. Doesn't matter. But that was the review. Again, I just want to remind you guys, if you happen to know any nice, simple, free editing software I could use, you know, to like edit these videos, to like piece them together nicely, just like I used to on my older reviews, then please tell me, because, you know, I'd really like to do that. But that's it for this video, the Fury of a Deadman self-titled album review. Hope you guys enjoyed. This video has gone on for quite some time, unfortunately. I'm sorry, that's what happens when I don't have the power of editing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye!